Arsenal a bit of a 4-point lead at the top of the table over in the Premier League with next up in line, Bournemouth. Goodness gracious me. Can they be Champions League contenders? We're going to get into that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today is match number 10, that's right, over in the Premier League, with Arsenal currently destined for the title, goodness gracious me. But they're next in line, breathing down the next. It's not Liverpool, it's not Chelsea, it's not even Manchester City. It is Bournemouth, that's right. Can the cherries upset the apple cart and close in on that top spot? We'll get into it, all of it in a second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe. Your subscribe for Premier League is right here, boys and girls, as we cover that, Blackburn Rovers, and much, much more, of course. If you're new, go and hit that subscribe, and can I ask you for a cheeky 50 likes on this one? If we can get anything closer to 100, that would be absolutely madness. But I'm asking you for 50. Please, please, please just do that. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it does help the channel, and the channel needs your help right now. We're going through a bit of a rough patch right now. The views are down, subs are down. But of course, hey, this is your community. Let's make it so. Get the likes in, 50 likes if you can. If not, can we ramp it up to 100? That'd be cheeky if you could do that. But anyway, let's get in the deep end and recap us what went on. But before that, big shout out to members of the Patreons. You know who you are. Let's get into it. Recapping the results of last time. And these were those. On the left was my picks. The real deal was on the right. As you see it, Leeds kicking off with a 2-1 win over West Ham as predicted. Sunderland with that 2-1 win away to Chelsea. Goodness gracious me. Newcastle with a 2-1 win over Fulham out with a 2-0 win. Manchester United did beat Brighton 4-5-4-2. The guy's just about to get his hair cut if he can get a couple more wins. Brentford with a 3-2 win over Liverpool. Nobody saw that one coming. Bournemouth with a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest as predicted. Villa with that 1-0 win over City. Great news there. Arsenal with a 1-0 win over Crystal Palace. Burnley with a 3-2 away win to Wolves. Massive win for them. And Spurs 3-0 winners over Everton. So those were the results of the table as we see it. Arsenal are top by 4 points. Bournemouth next in line. Spurs are up there. Sunderland are doing absolute bits as well. Going down, it is Wolves, it is West Ham, it is Nottingham Forest. None of the championship clubs from last season are in the bottom three. Burnley and Leeds are hanging around there. But look at Sunderland. Doing absolutely phenomenal stuff. But look at this. Manchester United could win and they could be up to second spot. Oh, goodness gracious me. And what's gone wrong with Liverpool? Madness, madness, absolute madness. Of course, what else is madness is the Prediction League, of course. So let's bring you bang up to date with that. As you see it, Eddie Video Star kicks ass with 13.5 points, as did Swansea City 1, picking up 13.5. And Barn 5 also up there as joint leaders with this past week with 13.5. The Barn Squirrel and then O'Connor up there in second and third. Bronze medal. Also give another bronze medal to Jake Harmon. And Shakes 289. I am down here somewhere. I have no idea. I fear that I didn't put my predictions, of course. 5 points because I feel I did much better than that. Regardless, let's take a look at the leaderboard, of course. As you see, it is Xandus kicking ass, 90.5, 5 points. Ultra Omura in second spot. James OFC in bronze. If you see a name in there, that means you've got to smash that like. So I'm expecting 72 likes amongst you, if not more than that. That should be the new target. You know, whatever's in the old leaderboard. 72 likes, but please, 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 can you get some loving on the channel? We need your help. Identity crisis for the channel at the moment. But that's the Super Brew, of course, but it could all change still over there. What do I mean? Well, the link to the channel, to the Prediction League is here. Get involved, get predicting, and see if you can predict me. All right, then, folks, kicking it all off, we're going to take a look at these matches that are coming at you this weekend, starting on Saturday, November the 1st, and it is Brighton up against Leeds at the American Express Stadium. That's right, Brighton and the Fabian Hutzler are 13th right now, 12 points for them. Just one defeat, though, in the last 6 matches, taking on Leeds United side under Daniel Farker, who are 15th with 11 points. Goodness gracious me. Now, they've played 28 times since 2004, 13 wins Brighton, 6 wins for Leeds. There's been 9 draws between the two sides. Coming into this, they last played at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Brighton back in August 2022. Brighton are actually unbeaten against Leeds over the last 6, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws as well. In fact, they haven't conceded a goal against Leeds at this venue in those last 3 matches. Brighton, though, on the back of that 4-2 loss to Manchester United. Leeds on the back of that 2-1 win over West Ham. Of course, Brighton also in action tonight or tomorrow night, taking on Aston in the Carabao Cup. That might have a bit of focus for them, but the bookies will back Brighton on this one. I think I'm also going to go in favour of the host 2-1 win. Brighton are, of course, a force to be reckoned with these days in the Premier League. Meanwhile, Crystal Palace taking on Brentford in an all-London affair. That's right. As Oliver Glasner's boys going for a bit of a bump in the road right now. They're 10th, 13 points for them. They're winless in the last 4. Up against the Brentford side under Keith Andrews, they sit 11th with 13 points. They've actually won 4 of the last 6 matches. They played 11 times since 2009. 1 win for Crystal Palace, 3 wins for Brentford. There's been 7 draws over the course of those 11 matches. They last played at this venue as a 2-1 win for Brentford back in January 2025. Looking back over the last 6, just 1 defeat for Brentford over the last 6. That was at this venue back in December 2023. Palace on the back of that 1-0 loss to Arsenal. Of course, it's been back-to-back games now without a goal for Crystal Palace. They're taking on Liverpool tonight or tomorrow night, or this midweek, should we say, in the Carabao Cup. Brentford also in action in the Cup. They got the Grimsby away day to Blundell Park. They're expected to win that game. Palace expected to lose. Bookies for this one, they'll back Palace though. I think I've got to back them as well. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win, maybe a bit of bounce back, bit of revenge perhaps for Palace of recent times. Then we go to Turdmore. Get your tetanus in, Arsenal fans, as of course Burnley under Scott Parker sit 16th right now, 10 points for them. Back-to-back wins up against the Gunners, who are top of the table with 22 points, and they've played each other 22 times since 2008. We've got 2 wins Burnley, 16 wins for Arsenal. There's been 4 draws stretching back 2008. They last played at this venue as a 5-0 win for Arsenal back in February 2024. Arsenal, of course, looking back over the recent years, unbeaten against them in the last 5. Burnley picking up a 3-2 win over Wolves. Arsenal with that 1-0 win over Palace. They've got, like I said, they're unbeaten. 6 wins on the spin, but 5 clean sheets on the spin for them at the moment. The bookies, we'll get to them shortly here. Arsenal taking on Brighton, like we mentioned earlier, expected to win that game midweek in the Carabao Cup. Bookies will back Arsenal on the road here, as will I. 3-0 winners and another clean sheet to boot. Let's go Fulham as they take on Wolves. That's right, over at Craven Cottage. Fulham under Marco Silva are 17th right now. 8 points for them. 4 defeats on the spin up against Wolves under Victor Pereira. Just 1 win in the last 6. They sit 20th with 2 points, of course. They played each other 32 times since 1999. 7 wins Fulham, 16 wins for Wolves. There's been 9 draws, of course. They last played at this venue. It was a 4-1 win for Wolves back in November 2024. Over the last 6, it's been 50% form, I think. That's 2 wins apiece and 2 draws. Fulham are on the back of that 2-1 loss to Newcastle. Wolves on the back of that 3-2 loss to Burnley. Both sides are in the Cup tonight or this midweek. Fulham taking on Wickham on the road. Wolves taking on Chelsea at home, of course. Looking at the odds for this one, Fulham are expected to win this game at Craven Cottage. I don't think it's going to be that plain sailing. I'm going with a 1-1 scoreline. Wolves are getting to that desperate stage. I think we might be seeing a change of manager for Wolves soon. And I also think that Fulham aren't safe as houses just yet. Let's go to Nottingham Forest then, as they take on Manchester United coming out at the City Ground. Sean Dyche and Nottingham Forest are 18th right now, 5 points for them, just 1 win in the last 6 in all competitions up against Manchester United. The Ruben Amorim, they've won 3, actually just lost 1 to the last 5. They sit 6th right now, 16 points for them. They played 17 times since 1994. 4 wins for Forest, 11 wins for United. There's been 2 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-0 win for Forest, who did the double over Manchester United last season. And only lost once against them in the last 4. Coming into this, Forest are on the back of that 2-0 loss to Bournemouth. United picking up that 4-2 win over Brighton. In the Cup, though, they're not in the Cup. Both of these 2 sides, of course, are fully prepared for this game. Man United looking strong right now, and of course, expected to win this game according to the bookies. I think I've got them winning this one as well. 3-1 winners. That'll be 4 in the bounce for Manchester United. Of course, there might be a haircut on their offering here very, very soon. Let's go to the next one. It's Tottenham. It's Chelsea. It's coming at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tommy Frank's Spurs are 3rd right now. 17 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Chelsea and Enzo Marquesca. They sit 9th right now, 14 points for them, 4 wins out of the last 5. They played 76 times since 1993, 11 wins for Tottenham, 43 wins for Spurs. There's been 22 draws. They last played over at this venue. It was a 7-goal thriller, 4-3 it was, for Chelsea back in December 2024. Chelsea, of course, winning 4 in the bouts against Spurs. A lot of goals in these games. We're talking 7, we're talking 10, 15 goals in the last 4. You do the math on that one. Spurs, though, on the back of that 3-0 win away to Everton most recently. Back-to-back clean sheets as well for Tottenham. As for Chelsea, losing the Sunderland 2-1 at home. Of course, the last away match was a convincing 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest. The bookies will back on this one. Backing Chelsea, which is a weird one. I'm going to go with a win for Tottenham. 3-2, a lot of goals in it once again. 5 for total, 3-2 in the end. Meanwhile, another game over on our hands here, over at Anfield, as Liverpool and Arne Slot sit 7th right now, 15 points for them, just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Aston Villa under Unai Emery, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 8th with 15 points, of course. These two sides played 62 times since 1993. 36 wins for Liverpool. There's been 13 wins for Villa. There's been 13 draws as well. They last played at this venue. 2-0 winners it was for Liverpool back in November 2024. In fact, Liverpool are unbeaten against Aston Villa over the last 6, picking up 3 wins and 3 draws. Liverpool, though, on an absolute stonking bit of form right now. Stonking being bad. Just 1 win in the last 6. That 1 win was against Frankfurt in the Champions League. After, just been terrible, terrible stuff. Villa on the flip side doing absolute bits everywhere else, except for a little bit of a hiccup against the go-ahead Eagles back on the 23rd of October. Into the Cup, of course, Liverpool taking on Palace this midweek, but the bookies will back Liverpool on this one. Not me. I think Villa's form is great, and I think this actually benefits them having a week off for this game. I think they take points off of Liverpool. I think they might even take all 3. 2-1 winners, and of course, Slots in trouble. That's right. Let's go to the final 3, and it is West Ham up against Newcastle on Sunday, the 2nd of November. West Ham under Nuno Espirito Santo. They sit 19th right now, 4 points for them. Up against the Geordies, up against Eddie Howe, 12th in the table, 12 points for them, 4 wins the last 5. They've taken on West Ham 55 times since 1993. 15 wins for the Hammers, 26 wins for the Geordies, and there's been 14 draws. They last played at this venue as a 1-0 win for the Geordies back in March 2025. The hosts, whoever they are, whether it's Newcastle, whether it's West Ham, have only won once at the last, maybe, 10? That's when Newcastle beat West Ham, 7-goal thriller back in March 2024. The Hammers are on the back of that 2-1 loss to Leeds. Newcastle on the back of that 2-1 win at home to Fulham. The last away match was a defeat, though, to Brighton. The bookies will back Newcastle on this one. They've also got cup action against Spurs in a Ding Dong Classic. I'm going to go with a bit of an upset here. I'm going to go with West Ham to get a point. Yeah, they might even get all 3, to be honest, because Nuno needs to deliver and fast. Let's go to Manchester City then as they take on high-flying Bournemouth. That's right, at the Etihad. City under Pep Guardiola sit 5th right now, 16 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Bournemouth under Andy Areola, they sit 2nd with 18 points. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches. They played Man City 18 times. They've only won once. City won 17 of them. There's been no draws. They last played, of course, 3-1 winners it was for City back in May 2025. They've won 6 of the bouts. Actually, they haven't lost 6. They've won 5 of the last 6, have City, over Bournemouth. City losing to Villa most recently. Bournemouth with that 2-0 win over Forest. Bookies will be backing City on this one, who do have cup action against Swansea. Gonna go with a win for City here. 3-0 winners. Hey, I've been impressed with Bournemouth flying high. I'd love to see them win this game. I'd love to see if they win this game. You know what? I think there is a conversation we've had about Bournemouth and Champions League football next season. But again, longevity, you've got to be able to stick it out. Speaking of longevity, can Sunderland keep up the heat in the top 4 place? They take on Everton on Monday night. That's right, at the Stadium of Light in the David Moyes derby. I think David Moyes managed Sunderland, if my memory serves me right. Regularly, Sunderland are 4th right now, 17 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6 up against Everton. David Moyes just 1 win in the last 6. They're down to 14th right now, 11 points for them. They play each other 36 times since 1996. 9 wins Sunderland, 20 wins for Everton. There's been 7 draws, of course. The last time they played over at this venue was a 3-0 win for the Toffees back in September 2016. It's been a long, long time, folks. In fact, Sunderland have only won once the last 5 against Everton. Everton, though, on the back of that 3-0 loss at home to Spurs. Of course, their first loss at the new place against Tottenham. Sunderland on the back of that 2-1 amazing win against Chelsea. Into the Cup. No cup action for both these two sides. Fully focused. They've got a long time to prepare for this game. But the bookies will be back in Everton at home, which again is ludicrous. Money to be made here, guys. It's like printing your own money. Sunderland winning this game 2-0 at the Stadium of Light. Goodness gracious me. And if I'm right, it's what to say what will look like at the end of it. It'll be Arsenal, Spurs in 2nd, but Sunderland up to 3rd, Man City up to 4th. Going down, Wolves, Nottingham Forest and West Ham, and a gap opens up between them and Fulham. That is it. Don't forget, of course, the Prediction League, 100% free. And, of course, don't forget to return and smash that like. We're looking for 50 likes, and I need your help. If we can get closer to 75 or even 100, dare I say it, I'd absolutely be forever in your debt. We're trying to get the likes up there, trying to get the vision on the channel back. Of course, YouTube are trying to mug me blind. Until then, though, I'll see you soon whenever I return. Until then, we are done.